Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I know, it's been a minute, but I am slowly coming back. For most of you, well, a lot of you did know, but for those of you that didn't, I took some time off because my grandfather passed away a few weeks ago. And so I'm just really working my way through the grieving process. And so I started to miss Check the Rhymes and you guys, so I had to come back. And plus, I wasn't about to miss this interview today because my jam in the 90s, and I wore that thing out, The Things That You Do. And I was getting ready to sing it, but that ain't my lane. But y'all remember that Bad Boy remix with Missy Elliott? Okay, so in the house today, Gina Thompson, y'all. I am so excited because I have been wondering, where is she? What is she doing? So she's in the building to talk about that, catch us up on what's been going on and what we can expect from her in the future, if anything. So I'm excited about it. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Gina Thompson, welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
Oh my God, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm blessed by the best. Thank you so very much for asking. How about yourself?
I am super excited about this interview because we've actually met before now, this is like 1997,
Ooh.
Back at East Tennessee State University's homecoming in Brooks Gym.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's a while ago.
Right.
You have an awesome memory.
The first time I had ever been around celebrities and interviewing celebrities. So you and Case performed and I didn't get to see the show because we were downstairs in Brooks Gym prepping for the interview because we worked for the TV station. So it was super exciting to get a chance to talk to you. But, shout out to my friend Shannon who the whole interview didn't get recorded because somebody forgot to hit record. It wasn't me, but somebody else forgot to hit record. So I just had to acknowledge that he did interview you. I was there.
Oh, okay. Wow. That I'm sure was not a good day.
But you know what? It taught us a very important lesson that we needed to learn was to be prepared because Case wore me out in my interview with him. And and that was a lesson. And don't give your mic away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we are.
Here we are. 11 years later.
Yeah. See, God had it all planned out.
Yeah. So I am so excited because I've been wondering what you've been up to, where you've been all this time. So I guess we can just start with that. Where have you been?
Ooh, well, man. So, as many of us, have heard the stories, about the music industry and things that goes on. And to make a long story short, so much happens and it really, really steals from the mental wellness. Yeah. And so with my journey, I had been through so many ups and downs, fluctuation of emotions and a number of things had happened. And at that time, being a single mother, and not really having time to be with my son, I was just on such an emotional roller coaster and all over the place that I just had to gain my sanity, because I was heading towards insanity.
Yeah.
So and again, this is making the story short. I had to just fall back, collect my thoughts and be that mother to my child. Be that mother to my child. So with all that being said, I have to honestly say that was the greatest thing for me to do because my mental was just really destroyed. And at that time I didn't know that God was just having his way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just kind of, told me to stand still. And I can say that now because of where I am now. And it was a lesson. It was a journey. I didn't understand it at the moment, but I understand it now. And so with that being said, being so much more at peace, my mental wellness is definitely, there's mental it has been healed and it continues to heal. So, and my son, like I said, I was able to reunite, back with him. Thank God for his father, at the time, because he was a wonderful, and still is a wonderful father to, my oldest son. And so I just have to say that being away, stepping away,
Yeah.
I do apologize to the fans that just didn't know and thought that I just left them hanging. But the bottom line is, if I can't be happy and do what I need to do and love myself, I can't give love to anybody else. And I can't do anything for anybody else. So for those of you that are listening, please know that mental wellness is so very important. You know, stop chasing so many different things if your mind's not right.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times we run into we bump our heads into the walls because we're so busy chasing things that may not be for us, or it may not be for us at that moment.
Yes.
So I'm a firm believer, as you can see, in spirituality. And I know that it's nobody but God that has brought me where I am today, has taken me through, you know, what I went through to get me to see what needed to be saw and where I am right now. Yeah. So I tried to sum that up because I could have gotten really, really deep.
Yeah, no, I love that because I can appreciate that because I literally am coming off of a bit of a hiatus because I had to deal, and I'm still dealing with, well, in my case, it's grief right now. And then that mental kind of like, what now? Where do I go now? That whole thing. So it's like, I can appreciate that and chasing stuff like, and then you're hitting that wall or getting doors slammed in your face.
Yeah.
I had that conversation with someone earlier where it's like, sometimes you just need to press pause, listen, be still and listen to God.
Oh, that's it. And and he has his way. Let me tell you, if you continue to be stubborn, you know, and not listening, because at the end of the day, he wants it his way. Because we have a jealous God. So, you know, like I said, I'm not going to try to get too, you know, spiritual on you, but that's my journey and that's my story. And I don't hide that for no one. You know, people can either listen and accept or not listen and not accept. Whatever works for for each and every one of you out there, that's fine. But this is my journey and this is who I am. And I know that it was nobody but God.
Yeah. So do you think that just being in the industry at that time was part of what really contributed to where you had to step back and say, this is too much? Like just the politics around the music industry. And that's one of the things I've always heard, that people should know the business of music. It's not just you go sing, they need to know the business of it as well. So do you think that, you know, I know I've heard some interviews that you've done in the past year where you've talked about like being dropped from the label twice, I think is what it was. And just all these things. And then an album not being released or single not being released. Like, how did all that kind of affect you?
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Well, just like with anything, like I said, emotional roller coasters just aren't fun.
Right.
So with me, the answer to that question, you asked earlier, you know, did that play a part or affect me? Absolutely. But even prior to going into the industry, I actually had been diagnosed with depression shortly after my first son. And, you know, a lot of us women, you know, sometimes we have that postpartum depression. And then unfortunately, it may kind of just stay to where they label it pretty much major depressive disorder. Right. So mine's kind of, you know, went into that. Okay. And I left it untreated. So that was kind of, and I was masking myself. So that was what I was dealing with even prior to going into the industry. So on top of what I went through, the emotional roller coaster with the industry, and then the emotional roller coaster with my chemical imbalance, I was a nervous wreck. You understand what I'm saying? And so I didn't have coping skills, and, you know, very naive and gullible, getting into this industry, people throwing you money, and it's just like, whoa, you know, and then you're not really having, and I say this with all due respect, I didn't have the support that I wish I could have had. And even then, it probably was around, but because I was all over the place mentally, I may have pushed it away. And all I know is that I felt alone so many times, you know, and so going back to that question, absolutely the music industry, as well as what I, have as depression. And I do still have depression and anxiety, but it's very well managed now. Very, very well managed. And again, all thanks to God, thanks to my husband, and my family, that all, never gave up on me, supported me through this journey. And so again, going back to the other question, like having to take that step back to get myself where I needed to be was one of the best decisions of my life. So people, and you said it earlier, people out there, if you want to get in any type of business, it's not even just the music industry.
Yeah, anything.
The word is called a business for a reason. You have to conduct yourself as one, but even most important than that, or equally important, should I say, is learn, educate. There's nothing worse than an uninformed decision. So inform yourself, enlighten, educate, read, and try to read reputable sites at that, like your .orgs and .govs. Didn't we learn that in school? No, that's what they always said, not the .coms. No, there is some good .coms. Nevertheless, look and listen to people's stories that have been there and done that. So, they say experience is the best teacher, which is very true, but it also is very helpful to have that knowledge there as well. Now, I'm not going to say if you're, informed that you're not going to have any bumps and bruises. We all know life is full of obstacles, but how you maneuver them or jump over them is the key. And again, doing that with information, informed information, if you will. So you said it again earlier, Shamika, that the best thing is to educate yourself as much as you can. Are you going to know everything? No, because again, we learn with experience as well. But don't be like me, where you just kind of sign like I was just signing anything and putting your full trust in any and everybody. Be careful. I mean, even God's like, don't put your full trust in no man but him. But of course, people that are around us, our support system, of course, you trust them to a degree. Absolutely. And you need that. You need that person that can help you stay humble and help keep the sanity there. But learn the business, and you cannot be naive and gullible. It's a business, and it's called a business for a reason. Conduct yourself as one and learn it. Don't just, I'm just going to sing, or I'm just going to rap, or I'm just going to act, just going to do whatever. If you don't handle your business, forget it.
Yeah. And I hope people hear what you're saying, because I think that's where, and when I speak to journalism students, I'm like, you have got to learn everything you can.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Just learn everything that you can. Like I said, we're never going to know it all, but you know, even God helps you when he sees that you're trying. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am today. And I'm so thankful that, with my new journey, before I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm too old now. I don't even look at that anymore. I look at what God just has in me. Someone out there is being nourished by either the words that I'm saying, or maybe even a song that I'm singing. I just want to bless others. And however that is done, however God wants to use me to do that, be it that. I am not comparing myself to all of these other artists and all these other people out there. Gina Thompson, this is me. This is what you see. This is what you get. I'm also a registered nurse, master's degree, registered nurse, and I make it my business to say it in every interview. I specialize in mental health, and I will soon be a mental health nurse practitioner. I let people know, because again, that is what God has for me, as well as my music. So I don't hide it. People are like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Oh no, because my schooling also is part of my journey and has brought me to where I am today. This is what you see. This is what you get.
You know what? So I'm like, yes, I'm so excited to hear you say that, because I was curious. I'm like, what? I wondered what you had been doing. I've heard you say that you, in other interviews that you, I think it was a year ago with Halftime Chat, where you mentioned that you had to, you switched careers. And I wondered, what was it? But now it totally makes sense. Your journey makes absolute sense. And
Absolutely.
And I wondered if because I know at one point you said you stopped singing and stopped the music, but did you go to church and decide to at least sing in the choir or something?
No, believe it or not, and I've been asked this question several times. Even with that, like again, God was dealing with me His way, like the healing in the process. I was going to church here and there, but I just stopped singing because I had to. It was a process for me.
Yeah.
That's the best way that I can describe it. It was
Yeah.
just my own process, and whatever God was having for me, I was being rebuilt, restructured, and
Yeah.
and a lot of that was Him taking away the fear and the doubt and the pain and the guilt, and keep reliving the past. Those
Yeah.
things were going on in my mind, the demons, just whatever. So once I realized that I am who I am, and
Mhm.
God didn't make any mistakes, and
Yes.
He's given me another opportunity
Mhm.
to be me. That's when I stopped worrying about all this other stuff and comparing myself to this person. Even with the negative social media, I embrace it. I embrace
Wait,
it.
you're getting negative social media
Oh,
now.
every artist will get it. Yeah, every artist will get it. And that was another thing that kind of pushed me away years ago.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? My thing is, I'm happy you're just talking about me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether it's good or it's bad, you have something to say. I'm on your mind.
Right.
So I embrace it. And then I also look at some of it as constructive criticism. Now those are the ones that may give you the input, but they're not so negative or put such a negative spin to degrade me.
Right.
So I take it.
Mhm.
And again, that's part of my journey. That's how I learn. And that keeps me humble.
Mhm. Okay. Well, so of course, I mentioned this in my intro that the things that you do was the jam in the 90s.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so
Even
much.
now, you play that like at somebody's cookout or something, or
Yeah.
wherever you are, that song comes on, people are going to stop and dance. So, how do you feel about that? Like that song still being such a hit even today? Like my math is bad, but I'm like, it's like, a lot of years.
Yeah, mine is too. Even though it's my song, I know it came out in 96, so was that probably about almost 25 years, whatever. No, I'm with you, girl. I got past my math, and I can give medications and measure that, but I pay my bills, and I know if you charge
that
me
math I
too
can
much
handle. And how much I'm owed.
No, I understand, but it again, one of those things, me, of course, a blessing. To have one song, and they call me a one-hit wonder, but people are wondering what's going on. But I'm like, again, it's still, people are talking, so it's still, relevant, so I'm just thankful that, even though the one song came out, many people don't even get that opportunity.
Mhm.
I used to look at that so negative. Oh, I came out with one song and that was it. Well, thank God. What I look at it now is that glass is more half full than it is half empty.
Yes.
Because I came out, I had one song and that was it. But some people don't even get that. So I just started saying, instead of saying, oh my God, they dropped me in one song. No, Lord, I thank you for this opportunity, because if it wasn't for you, Lord, it would not have happened. Mm-hmm. And to say that I've had that experience, and here it is 20 plus years later, and people are still receptive of that one song. Yeah. Nobody but God. Nobody but God. So again, it feels amazing. It's a blessing times another blessing. So that's how I feel.
When people say that, though, about the one song, they don't realize that you've done other things too. I had no idea that was your vocals on Cold Rock a Party with MC Light.
Yeah. And also, there was another song that I did with MC Light. It's All Yours. That's a single that she had. People didn't know that. I was on, I don't know if people remember Ill and Out Scratch's album. Christopher Williams and myself had did something with them. I was on the NBA at 50th soundtrack with John, a song that John and Babyface wrote. Yeah. I did the feature title of Why Do Fools Fall in Love on that remake. Yada Yada was a second single from my second album. That was unreleased, but no, you're very right. Background singing for Missy. I was on several television shows from Saturday Night Live to Family Matters. Right. I don't even remember all of them, but you're right. So I'm thankful that, that you do know that. And, but like I said, I just let people, say what they say, and just go to my IG page. Okay. The Real Gina Thompson, and click on my link tree, and my whole portfolio is there.
Yes, yes.
Actually, there is some missing because I'm still building it.
That's okay. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, because I know now it seems like the resurgence of artists from the 90s, like everybody is still craving that 90s R&B sound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what do you think about that? Because I know that for me, I know even when I hop in the car, most of the times I'm listening to 90s R&B on the rare occasion that I'm acting like I'm somebody's grandma listening to Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is 90s R&B because you know, that was really, I guess, the Gen X era. So yeah.
I think I think people are, still liking that or beginning to listen to it even more now because it's almost like, and I say this with all due respect, it's almost like we kind of got lost a little bit, with good sounding, good sounding music, right deep in the soul. And even when the 90s, even then, people were saying the same thing, like we need the Marvin Gaye type tracks out and the Teddy Pendergrass and, but music evolves, it definitely evolves. And I think what may be happening now is that evolution is kind of doing a 360, if you will.
Right.
And so it's kind of just kind of coming back to the roots, and you're going to be hearing probably people doing more remakes of songs prior to the 90s or the 90s, hence why we kind of did what we did with my latest Infanity remix of The Things You Do.
Yes, I was about to bring that up because I wanted to. I wanted to know more about that. Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about that. Like, how did this even come about?
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to talk about it. So, of course, first and foremost, it was in God's will. Okay, so what happened is, Rena is the CEO of Infanity, and DJ Leak is the COO. I actually met Rena years ago through a friend of mine named Jacoby Lindsay back in South Jersey, where I'm from. And she was awesome then. She was an attorney then and, just doing so many different things. Powerful lady, just a beautiful lady. And so what happened was years had gone by and she knows my manager by the name of Jerkins. So such a coincidence after I did Pass the Mic. Now I'm going to jump around a little bit, but I'll try really hard to stay on track here.
Okay, that's okay.
I did Pass the Mic. Yes. And after Pass the Mic, my old manager, Daryl, had reached back out to me. He and I started conversating more. We decided to reunite in a business relationship. So what had happened was, again, him knowing Rena, and then a friend of mine that worked on my first album by the name of Tony Curtis, he knew DJ Leak. So it was kind of like there's a little circle there. So we all kind of just started talking amongst me having a partnership or coming along with the Infanity. They launched, I believe it was 2022. And Rena, I'm sorry if I'm wrong with the year, but I believe it was 2022. Okay, that they launched their whole Infanity, and I can break Infanity down and what that deal is all about as well. Okay. So what they decided to do was, again, everyone started talking. We think Gina would be a good fit, especially with their mission and their vision. And Rena and Leak has always been a fan, and of course Tony Curtis, and of course my manager Daryl. So it was magnetic. So what happened was Daryl came to me and said, "Hey, this is what they're talking about." And then my friend Tony Curtis reaches out to me and was like, "Hey, my friend, boom, boom, boom." And lo and behold, this is all going on. And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So I said, "Yeah, I think this is written." So we did some negotiation, and I believe it was one of the best decisions that I've made. Oh, good. And the reason that I feel that way is, first and foremost, Infanity. Everyone, at the label, and just everyone that's in the circle right now, the energy is so impeccable. It's contagious, and it's so wonderful to be in the midst of good, transparent energy and people that truly, truly believe in you as a person first, and your art as well. So this is with me, I didn't have no deal, nothing was going on. But for them to say they believe in me and felt like I just didn't get my flowers or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I said it was nobody but God, And so kind of speaking of Infanity, I went ahead and signed the deal with them the beginning of this year. Everyone was super ecstatic. And so Infanity, what Infanity is, it's an independent, if you will, Web3 and or digital type of record company or label, if you will.
Okay.
So what I mean when I say Web3, it's a non-fungible token. They call it NFTs. It's a new way of a newer way, rather. It's been around, but people just really haven't been hip to it, but they're beginning to learn more and more of it. What the best way I can describe it, because it can get a little intricate and a little bit, maybe hard to understand. The best way that I describe it, it's like cryptocurrency. Okay. So if you go ahead, and I encourage people to visit Infanity's website, and if you want to know their website exactly, again, you can go on my Real IG page, look on there, you'll see I have Infanity on my link tree. Okay.
And I'll put a link below as well for people.
Perfect.
To take a look. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So the way that it works is a non-fungible token. Again, it's very similar to stocks. So if someone invests in their artist, it's like a platform. It's a Web3 platform where you have everything of that artist. It's like you're the first one to get things of that artist, and you kind of know what's going on inside. And even if you wanted like me to come to do a signing or do an appearance or something, you can, that information would be first available, on our platform. So we're encouraging people. Because a lot of people don't know, they're kind of like, I'll just stick to Apple and get your single. But people will begin to see time, as you and I both know, time tells everything. People are, again, if you're uninformed, sometimes it's hard to make that decision. Right. So go to Infanity's website. What you will be able to learn is definitely more information on what we call non-fungible tokens. Again, it's like you're investing into your artist. You buy a piece of the share. And then you hold on. And as that share goes up, because the token does go up, of course, we're claiming it. Yeah. You will always have that token at that price. And if you want to sell it to someone else, you can go ahead and sell it. So let me give you another example. I've been told that I can't quite remember which artist it was, but many artists are turning towards it. But there was, I think it's a rap group that they couldn't find their album. A buyer wanted to buy an album. And so they found it on an NFT, and they paid a lot of money for this album. But the person that bought it had bought it at original price. So again, it's almost like a cryptocurrency, almost like a stock. And we're encouraging people to, check it out. Eventually, I'm going to have clothing on there. Yeah. And things along those lines. We do plan on, branching out and doing more stuff. So like I said, I can kind of go on, but I gave you a brief synopsis. Yeah. Still, please visit Infanity's website to learn more about that. But I am also on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon, the new song. And we can talk about that whenever you're ready as well.
Okay. Yeah. I have actually written down like what is NFT, because I have seen it everywhere, but I never knew what it was. So thank you for that explanation, because I had no idea what it was. Yeah.
It's a new thing. Again, I know Shanice is one that has it. They're moving towards it. And I'm sorry, I didn't say more so why. If I may just add this part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because artists are able to have more control over what they're doing versus your standard record deal, unless you're this mega artist where you can negotiate a lot of things on your terms. Right. With these non-fungible tokens, or with this whole NFT platform, and go to Infanity though, with this major platform, transition Web3, if you will, artists are able to, it's more even lucrative for not only the business, but the artist as well. Because again, it's like an investment, and you get a greater percentage of everything. Whereas you may get and I'm giving an example, but I'm about to exaggerate. Okay. Whereas on a record deal, you may get a penny off of $1, where with an NFT, you may get almost half of that. So the bottom line is it's more personable, you have more control, and it's a great way for your artist to kind of be more in touch with you, more personable than your social medias like IG and things along those lines. Right. You get first dibs of everything.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That makes total sense. So going back to the single, the cover of your song, you're doing it with the Leftovers. Oh yeah. So are they on the label as well? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah. I believe they may had signed right after me or right before me. I can't even remember, but nevertheless, the Leftovers. Let me just exemplify this group for y'all real quick. The Leftovers. So, okay. Cause you know, I'm spiritual as well.
Yes.
Truly blessed. They're anointed. Okay. They are such a wonderful group. And again, that energy that they have, they are a band. They also sing. They also rap.
Yeah.
Angie is the female in the group. And when I tell you her vocals is, listen, the world will soon hear. The group is absolutely phenomenal. Liam is the one that did the rap on this song. Then he has his brother named Lance. And then we have the band in the back.
Yeah.
Gary is like the director of it. And you guys will trust me. You're going to hear much more about them. We are all trying to and working towards touring together as well. But the Leftovers is such a phenomenal group. They do everything live with the band.
Oh wow!
When I tell you their music it's a breath of fresh air. I'm not just saying it because they're label mates. They are incredibly blessed with, you name it. They're engineers. They do music. They are everything in one. Wow. So that was a great investment for Infanity. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So yes, they are featured on the Infanity remix of The Things You Do. Again, our single is out. It's The Things You Do, Leftovers featuring Gina Thompson. The single is out on all platforms. Please go support it. The Leftovers have their IG page as well. Angie has her IG page. Gary has his own IG page. Like I said, you can just go to my IG page and you'll learn of them all, and then branch on out there. We're asking everyone to show the support because we cannot do this without y'all. Our fans, well, of course, we know that God has us, but our fans is pretty much what gets the artist really popping. It's a demand. It's a business.
Yes.
So yes, please, go to Infanity's website, go to the real Gina Thompson IG, and I'm also on Twitter, the Gina Thompson. Okay. So you can follow me on Twitter, and you're going to be hearing a lot more from the Leftovers and myself. And Infanity, this is just the beginning. Just the beginning.
You have
super excited.
You got a single coming out in May. Actually, I'm like,
I was gonna move. I'm moving at your pace, Shamika.
I was like, now we got to talk about that single.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I'm sorry. Let me just say this real quickly. Okay. The Things You Do video, please check it out on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel, but go to Infanity's YouTube. I'm still actually building my YouTube channel, but please go to Infanity's YouTube channel and see the video already. And I'm so thankful to God we got over. It just came out on, was maybe about, oh goodness, what was it? The 23rd? It's been almost a week or something like that. Really? And we're over already 2,000 views. So I'm so thankful to God for that. We have over 200 comments and, of course we want subscribers as well. So take this journey with us, please. And you won't be disappointed. But back to your question as far as my single. Yes, I do. I have a single titled Starvin' that will be coming out. We thought it was going to be the end of May, but like I said, WebM3 is a little bit different with things. And, there's a little bit different process with things. Yeah. And again, learning these things. Right. We've learned it with The Things You Do. So now I'm telling people this summer, prayerfully by June, that Starvin' will be out. We are still pushing and grinding with The Things You Do. We're hoping to even get that on radio where we've been getting some really, really great feedback. So, request the song if you can, because if it's requested and let's say a radio station doesn't have it, we can always make sure that they do get it. WebM3 is a little bit different. We know that there's so much streaming going on, social media online, but we still don't want to forget about our radio.
Y'all need to start a TikTok challenge or something, because that seems like
that's what everybody keeps saying to me. I've yet to post a TikTok video, but I do have a TikTok channel, and my kids are saying, "Mom, start a challenge. Come on, Mom, you got to do it. Now's the perfect time." So I think, I'm going to definitely have to entertain that versus so stressed out and worried about posting something on IG all the time. So
social media stresses me out, period.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't you know?
We didn't have to worry about this in the 90s.
I'm telling you. But it definitely has its pros because again, you're able with artistry anyway, friends in general. I'm sorry, just anything, business, friends, whatever. The connection and just being able to, it's just more personable. Whereas before, we just had our little landlines or our pagers.
Yeah.
I went there, didn't I?
I was thinking about my pager the other day. I was like, I think when I found out you have to pay a monthly bill, I was like, nah, take this back.
Okay. Yeah. I need you to just take that right there. Yeah. But yeah, so more to come with Starvin. I am, again, I'm super blessed and just so thankful to be a part of the Infanity group. We all are just, looking to the sky, and we're not trying to be so influenced by, again, so much stuff out there, because we don't want to get consumed with, because everybody and their mom is already going to compare you to this person, that person, right, whatever. We are unique in our own way, and we, most importantly, we really do this for the love of it. So yeah.
So will Starving be like a ballad or like a dance track?
It's a mid. It is a mid. It is a mid. It's a mid. And actually, a shout out to there was a group of writers that did it, and the producer themselves. And I got to give a shout out to Tony Curtis, my friend I was speaking about earlier, because he really looked out with the Things You Do remix as well, the Infanity. Yeah. He really, really did. Very talented man. He was on my first project, like I said, and he's very, very talented. Very talented. He too has some music that will be coming out soon. Okay. So yeah, but Starvin is mid. We'll be doing the video as soon as I drop a couple pounds.
You look great.
I keep saying that to Lee. He's like, girl, you need to go ahead. And my husband told me the same thing, honey. You not 25 no more. So I always, this is what I say to people when I have them cracking up. Listen, I know that I'm not 25 anymore. I might not drop it like it's hot, but I know I can let it down like it's warm.
There you go. I'm sitting here with a knee brace, so I can't even let it down like it's warm.
Yeah. So there you have it. We're having fun with it.
Good.
Like I said, we're looking to travel and just, support our fans, and just hopefully, people will be receptive and just receive something out of it, just something out of it. But we are looking forward to start. Absolutely.
Will you continue nursing as well?
Of course.
You've introduced this back into your life.
Absolutely. But now, well, let me say it like this, because I'm in school now.
Okay.
So, and this is my last class, and it's killing me. But so the reason that I decided to stick with it, because I was like right there at the finish line.
Yeah.
So now the clinical portion, I will have to put that on hold, but that's not a bad thing. The great thing is all my core classes are done. Okay. So once I, can fit my clinical in, it's such a flexibility type thing, and there's even telehealth. So my thing is, I'm just thankful to God that, like I said, everything is the timing is so perfect, because my class is done May 14th. And I'm just like, and this is pretty much when we by the end of this month or June, we may start to, really get some feedback, more feedback from the things you do. And then we'll move forward with Starving.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I've seen in some of the groups on Facebook, like the unsung groups, that some people have mentioned, will we ever see an unsung?
Oh, man. You know what? That would be so dope. My kids had even said that. That would be so dope. We really haven't talked about that. But I you know what? You never know. You never know. Yeah. One of those things that I can say, if the opportunity does present, if it's something that, we can do and the timing is good, then yeah. I mean, who knows what God has in store? I'm just letting him continue to drive, be the driver, and wherever he leads, I'm going, So that would be awesome. So if anybody out there, if you want to do the unsung, reach out to my peoples.
Yeah. Yes, please. We need the whole story. So I'm going to jump into the portion of the fan questions, because several fans submitted some questions for you on social media.
Perfect.
And so these are always like so fun, because sometimes it's like, I didn't think of that question, but I always want to make sure I give them credit, because they did come up with these questions.
That's awesome. And good for you, Shamika. Good for you.
So the first one is, what advice would you give your younger self now that you know what you know about the music business?
Just that, what we were saying earlier, it's a business. Inform yourself, educate yourself, and be on your game. Be on your game. Be vocal. Let people know what it is that you want versus everybody telling you what they want and making you what they want you to be. Because it's so hard to be someone you're not. It is so much easier when you can be you.
Yeah.
I can't be nobody better than myself. So
that's true. Okay. Someone wanted to know, who are your favorite new artists?
Oh,
I think it sounds like the Leftovers for one. But
of course, it's the Leftovers. So absolutely. What's so crazy is because it's a lot of them are the ones back in the day. Okay, so Jasmine Sullivan.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Jasmine Sullivan. Her. Let me see. I like Rihanna. I like Rihanna a lot.
Yeah.
She's not so much new, but you know what I mean, like ones that came out after me.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me think of some males. Of course, Usher. But again, I know that they're not new.
Yeah.
But they're, after me. Chris Brown, of course. So let me go to gospel. Marvin Sapp.
Yes.
Incredible. Smokey Norfolk. And I know they're not so new, but this is what's on my heart right now.
Yeah.
And this was coming to mind. I like there are a lot of them around my time.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, probably the one or two that sticks out is most definitely Jasmine Sullivan, her. Those are probably the ones right there. And I'm sure there's more, but that's right in my frontal lobe.
Okay. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know, let's see. What did you learn when your song became a hit that you've applied to today? Does that make sense?
Okay. I'm going to repeat the question.
Okay.
To see what did I learn from my song when it became a hit and applied it to today?
Yeah. Like, I guess, how do you apply it to being back in the industry? Like, when, because I'm sure that was a different time. And you kind of talked about how things are different.
Okay.
But is there anything else that you may have learned during that time that you're like, okay, now I need to make sure I'm on top of this time around in case one of these songs like Starving is a hit?
Yeah. So believe it or not, the title of the song itself, we all know it to be a love song. It's the things that my man does that makes me keep running to him. Yeah. But the one thing that I've learned in life in general, Gina, it's the things that you do in general that makes you do what you do. So whatever you need to do that, because it's going to be accomplished based on what you do. So it's the things that I do that makes me keep running to myself.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I honestly thought you were going to say run into God, but
yeah. Well, he's the one that allows me to run.
Yeah.
So I already told you I can't do nothing without him. Yeah. But I like that though.
Yeah. And so the other question, really, we already touched on that at the beginning. They wanted to know where you had been. So we already talked about that. And what's next besides, finishing your course and then being on the new label and releasing a song? Is there anything else you're working on?
So right now, the most important thing that we are focusing on, again, seeing what the things you do does. And of course, then move along with Starving. And again, everything's a business. So we're going to see how things maneuver with this. And prayerfully, if things do go the way that we're all, wanting and anticipating it to go, then I'll be back in the studio doing more. But right now, and I think the biggest thing is for us taking what we have right now and all of us just taking it one day at a time and growing and then just kind of just seeing where things, just take us. So the sky's the limit. I know that we definitely are planning to go on the road. So if there's anybody that is, wanting to, I'm sorry, I meant to also let you guys know I'm a motivational speaker. So, I am an advocate for mental wellness. So, if there's any show or anything like that people are wanting to, want me to do a show or even the leftovers, because of course, being that song is out, we're going to be performing that together.
Yeah.
Or if you want me to speak, also a mentor, I encourage people to DM me. I do have a manager. His name is Jerkins. Normally people will, send information either to my DM. Some of them will send it directly to Daryl, but whatever comes to me, I always send to him anyway. Yeah. But it's Daryl Jenkins 56 at Gmail. Again, if you go to the real IG page, if you click on my link tree or my portfolio, in the link tree, you will see my manager's name there. You will also see booking information, etc. So yes, please, I encourage people to definitely check that out. And if there's anything that I can do to, support, safely support,
yeah.
I am so for it. I love my fans. I love the support and I love to give back.
I love it. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. You have poured into me, and I don't know if you realized it, but you have.
Thank you.
So again, this is full circle, and I'm rubbing this all in Shannon's face that we got to do our whole interview.
Okay. Don't be surprised if they want to do another one with them on. And if so, just let me know.
I will.
Maybe after Starving comes out, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're a radio station too, right?
So this is a YouTube show, but it also airs on Zone TV and the Zone of
right.
Zone TV is in Canada. So
perfect.
International over here.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, okay. So the time is what there?
Well, I'm actually in North Carolina, but I have a deal with them to air the stuff over there too.
That's awesome. So, yeah. That's awesome. Well, listen, Shamika, it has truly been a pleasure. And when I say this, I mean this with everything in my soul. If there is anything that I can do to support your show, support your art, support your craft, I am so willing to do just that.
Oh, thank you.
So please keep me in mind. And I so mean that. I tell that to, in all my interviews, and I'm so meaningful to that, because without you guys, you guys are the support. You guys are the bread, and I'm bread too, but we're bread and butter and
right.
hands and gloves. So
yes,
God bless you. And you continue doing what you're doing. You're very beautiful inside and out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.